If you want to be in a better mood and feel less depressed and anxious, then you want more tryptophan, because tryptophan is converted into serotonin in your brain, and serotonin makes you feel all sorts of good stuff and less bad stuff. So in today's video, I'm going to clear up some of the myths floating around out there about how to get more tryptophan into your brain. Hey there, I'm Mish, and I'm a full-time researcher with my PhD in psych/neuroscience, and I share scientific studies here to help you reach your weight loss, fitness, health, and nutrition goals. And if you don't know about tryptophan and the fact that it's really good for your mood, check out my last video on this, where I go over studies showing that getting more tryptophan for just 4 days can drastically change your mental health. So check that out if you're interested after this video. And if you know about tryptophan or have any interest in it, then you have probably heard some confusing, conflicting stuff about how to get more and how to have it more effectively get into your brain. Now, there are a lot of science bros out there, as I'm going to affectionately call them, who don't tend to get science straight from the source, and it kind of gets like trickled down through blog posts and stuff until it barely resembles the actual science. And they will probably tell you that in order to get more tryptophan and feel happier, you should be eating a lot of protein, like turkey and stuff. So I went to the science to see if that holds up, and I've got 2 studies for you today that I'm going to go over really briefly. And in the first study, the researchers looked at how adding different types of amino acids into your diet affects how much serotonin you end up with in your brain. And what they did was they had rats on a low protein control diet, and then they added different types of amino acids. So importantly, tryptophan is an amino acid, and unsurprisingly, they found that when they added just tryptophan to this diet, the rats had more serotonin byproducts, I'm just going to say serotonin, in their brain than the rats who did not get added tryptophan. So first, we're just proving that eating more tryptophan means more serotonin, which is going to mean better mood. However, when they added other amino acids, they found that the levels of serotonin actually went down. So it's not just that adding non-tryptophan amino acids didn't increase serotonin, it's actually that adding other amino acids decreased serotonin even though the level of tryptophan was not changed in their diet. And specifically, the amino acids that were the worst offenders for decreasing serotonin levels were methionine, threonine, leucine, and phenylalanine. I'll list them down here too. And guess what? Turkey has a ton of those. So when you eat turkey, you're not only getting tryptophan, you're getting all these other amino acids that actually lower your levels of serotonin in your brain. And you may be wondering what the heck is going on. Like, why does having non-tryptophan amino acids do the opposite of adding tryptophan to your diet? And what happens with all these amino acids that are in the same category as tryptophan is that they have to compete to get into your brain. So there's only so many slots in that blood-brain barrier for those amino acids to cross from your blood into your brain across the blood-brain barrier. And so if you have more competing amino acids, they're actually going to reduce the amount of tryptophan that can make it into your brain. So what do? Tryptophan is an amino acid. It's generally going to show up in foods that have high protein. So are you just screwed? Is there no way to change your tryptophan? No, you're not screwed. And the second study I'm going to go over today, which looked at humans instead of rats, which is an improvement, looked at what happened to blood levels of tryptophan and the ratio of tryptophan to other amino acids depending on the composition of breakfast that people ate. So specifically, they looked at high protein versus high carb breakfasts, and they found that after a high carb breakfast, their ratio of tryptophan compared to other amino acids was way higher than after a high protein breakfast. So high carb breakfasts were a lot more helpful for having more tryptophan and less of these competing amino acids compared to a high protein breakfast. And that ratio of tryptophan to other amino acids is what really matters for making sure you get that tryptophan into your brain so it can turn into serotonin and make you happier. So this study strongly suggests that eating a high carb diet is going to be much better for getting higher serotonin than a high protein diet. And the reason for this is it's thought that the healthy, normal insulin spike that happens after eating a high carb meal helps your muscles absorb the competing amino acids so that what's left in your blood is a higher ratio of tryptophan, and then it can get into your brain that way. And if you're curious about what foods are high in tryptophan and how you can eat a higher tryptophan diet in a way that will actually increase your levels without a ton of other competing amino acids, Check out my other video on this, where I list a bunch of foods high in tryptophan. I hope this can help you if you are looking to improve your mood with diet or are just curious about the science of this stuff. I find it really cool, so I enjoy talking about it. Hopefully you enjoy hearing about it. Please let me know what you think, and if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, helps get this info out there, and hopefully help people be less depressed and less anxious. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.